Welcome back to It's Never Too Late to Date. We are the channel about dating after the age of 60. And today we're going to be talking about dealing with loneliness before and during dating. Studies show that over 30% of people over the age of 60 are lonely, especially single people. And so that's usually one of the catalysts that causes someone to think about dating again. They don't like that feeling of being lonely, and they think that dating is going to be the thing that solves that. And I have this channel to talk about dating, but I wanted to kind of talk about the fact that finding companionship, um, not just men and women or whatever, but for friends, just reconnecting with friends for companionship could take care of that loneliness. And I know a number of single women who are very happy in their situation right now. They like being single. They like having their own time. They like not having to be concerned about whether someone is going to be taking up their time or taking up space in the home that they live in. And so they're totally happy being on their own and single. And but keep in mind that things change. Your mind changes. Sometimes, that if you have a friend that you spend a lot of time with, and they either meet somebody and then they're gone a lot, and or people at this age we're getting near that where a lot of people are passing away and unexpectedly, and so when that happens, you could lose some of your companionship. But I always think about the show The Golden Girls, where we've got four women all living together in the same house. And in fact, before I met David, I had a couple friends of mine, and we were talking about doing that. Getting a house together or buying a house together, and all living there, and keep each other company, and to have a social life while we age. And that's always a good idea if it's possible, something like that. But since this is a dating channel, I did want to talk about dating and loneliness that can be involved in the process of dating. And first of all, if you decide to date, you have options, whether it's online dating or getting involved in the community, going to art classes, going to cooking classes, joining groups that like to hike or do the things that you like doing. There's usually a group for that. And so you can always look for those to meet new people. But the biggest thing, and I reiterate this in all my videos, is you have to be around new people. So that should be the focus. Now, once you get out and you start, going out and meeting new people, it's going to open up a whole new world for you. You're going to be meeting not only men and for dating or women for dating, you're going to be meeting people that you're going to have instant connections with that will be good friends. And you'll have new people to hang out with and new people to do things with. But then there's usually that time where, during the day you're out doing a lot of stuff, and then at nighttime, you're home alone, and that's usually when the loneliness sets in. And I've even talked to people who are in relationships that are still lonely. And so, one of the things I wanted to mention is be clear when you start dating. Be clear about what you're looking for. And I'm not talking about looks. I'm not talking about all the superficial stuff, but I'm talking about when you meet somebody for the first time. Say you meet someone online and you're talking, getting to know each other. One of the questions that should be asked in every first date is, what do you like to do in your spare time? And, what are you looking for in a companion? Are you wanting to a serious relationship long term, or are you looking for something short term? And a lot of people, both men and women, feel like, oh yeah, they said they're looking for short term, but I know that I'm the perfect person, and they're going to change their mind once we get to know each other. And so just don't believe that. Believe what people tell you. And if they're not looking for the same type of thing that you're looking for, then move on. There's plenty of fish in the sea, and you'll find somebody that has the same lifestyle pattern as you do. And so another part of that is when David and I first got together, he was working a lot and I was working a lot. And so we pretty much just saw each other probably a couple times a week. And even after we moved in together, there was little time that we had to spend together. But and that was one of the reasons why we decided to move in together, because of the work that he was doing, and mainly planning for his retirement. Wanted to put a certain amount of money away before he retired. So the jobs he was working were contributing to that, and I respected that highly. I thought that was great. And then I sell real estate, so I was out during the day and home in the evening. We would eat dinner together, and then he would leave at around probably 8:30 in the evening to work at one of his jobs, which was at night. And so sometimes you can be lonely in a relationship, but when you know that the other person is the goals are the same, you usually don't get lonely unless you feel ignored. And sometimes in a relationship, if there's someone who's got a different perspective on how much time you should be spending together, then one person feels hurt, they feel ignored, they feel like the other person doesn't love them. And everyone has a different type of relationship style. And so that's something you want to talk about beforehand when you first start dating. Because once you get in a full swing relationship and one or the other of you feels like you're not spending enough time together, usually you could have avoided that from the beginning. So make sure that you chat and have a heart to heart talk about that you're both what you're looking for, and also that you both have this a similar relationship style. And there are people who are want to be with their partner or companion all of the time. And if you can find somebody that likes that, then great, it'll work. But if you've got one person that wants to be with their partner all of the time, the other person will feel smothered if that's not their relationship style. If they like to have a little bit more independence and come and go, do their own thing. And that's one thing that when David and I first got together, I did not actually know what to expect. And I was more felt like we needed to do more together. And as I was able to spend more time on my own individually, I learned that I enjoyed my independent time. I was going off of an idea that I guess we call it the Hallmark movie kind of ideal relationship style, where you just are inseparable after you meet. And once I spent some time on my own when he was working two jobs and I was doing my job and I had time to do my thing, I learned that I actually was pretty independent. And also, when we went through COVID, that changed a lot of things. And, remember that when you're out dating, a lot of people got used to being in and on their own for those 3 years, 2.5, 3 years, and got comfortable, being alone and not having to deal with other people. And so, don't take it personally if you've got meet somebody that's like that, but talk about the situation and, do they feel like they're social people, or are they like to be at home all the time? And introvert, extrovert, and try to find someone that's a similar match. And that's not saying that an introvert can't have a great relationship with an extrovert, because I do see that working for a lot of people. And but you have to talk about your lifestyle and whether or not that introvert is willing to go to social events with you if you're an extrovert. And all of those things need to be talked about. Or if you don't, somebody in that relationship is going to feel either lonely, or they're going to feel like they need to run away. They need space. So we got to make sure that all of that is matching. And so keep in mind too that one of the things that comes up a lot on the comments that I get are, I'm too old to start dating again. I'm lonely, but I just I don't have the energy. I don't want to go out and meet somebody. And a lot of times that comes from, past experience for one thing, but also thinking that they have to do something totally different. And if you're not social, then yes, maybe you will have to do something a little different, and that's get out of the house, go to events, go to reunions, go to church, go to social events. And you've got most of people have friends who are involved in social activities that you can tag along with them to a new event that you normally wouldn't have gone to. But I've mentioned before, I'm not looking for anyone, but I do play pickleball 3 times a week, and lots of single people are there, both men and women. So there's that's an activity that I enjoy doing, and I actually am trying to get to know some of the single men that are there to see if they might be a match for one of my friends. That's just something that I like doing. And then also, I walk a lot, so you're always seeing people out walking. I do get involved in real estate events still. I'm close to retiring from that, but I still go to classes and I go to different events that happen in our community. And that's another thing too. Go to classes. There are all different types of classes, not just art, like we've talked about before, or cooking, but there are community colleges in every city, and a lot of those classes are taken by people that are 50, 60, and over, just wanting to learn something new. And so don't discount that. In the summertime, we're getting into late spring, early summer. There are outdoor events, music that happens. Live music is back again, and that's something that went away during COVID, but it's coming back now. Get out to some of the outdoor concerts and mingle with new people. Take a friend with you and just get out, and usually people are in a great mood. You're gonna feel good, and when you go, just make sure that you are dressed in a way that makes you feel good, and that way you'll be more attractive and you'll attract more people. Now, the second part is about feeling lonely during the time that you're dating. Say you've met somebody, you've been chatting, and you think it's a great match. Okay, so you exchange information, exchange numbers, and then you don't hear anything. And I am a big proponent of women reaching out to men if you don't hear something after, say, 3 days to a week or so. If you don't hear something from the man, don't be too shy to reach out. Men like that. Nowadays, men don't know quite what to do. Everything's changed all the time. And to just reach out and say, hey, I loved our chat that we had when we first met. I'd love to get to know you better. Are you open to get together for coffee? And start from there. And then as you get to know each other. But in the meantime, what happens is you go on this first date, you think it's gone really well, and then you don't hear anything for a few days, and you feel lonely. And it just reminds you that, oh no, what if this guy doesn't like me? And I'm back in the same square one looking for somebody to date. And when you're dating, never, I mean, I say never, my opinion, don't close off and focus on one person. You've met one person, and especially if you're dating online, you're going to be meeting a number of people and reaching out to a number of different people, and just be open to having coffee with a number of people at the same time. And then once you make some type of a connection and you're both on the same page because you've talked about it, you're both on the same page, that's when you're going to not date other people. And usually, you from your discussions with the person that you have connected with, you're both going to determine that you just want to see each other, that you're going to be seeing each other exclusively, and that's at that point you close yourself off to other people. But until that happens, you want to be as social as possible. Continue to get out and meet new people, and however you do that, whether it's online or at activities, you want to continue doing that, because dating can be very lonely, especially if you're focused on one person and you're not getting the attention that you're expecting from that person. So keep that in mind. And there was one other thing that I wanted to talk about was actually, I did cover it. Just determine what you're really looking for, and make sure in the very beginning of your meeting with someone, you put it out there that you are looking for a long-term, meaningful relationship, companionship, and that they're make sure that they're looking for that exact same thing. And then talk about your relationship style, whether you are connected, you like to be connected with the other person, and texting, talking all the time, every day, and make sure you're on the same page. Now, so just thank you for joining me again on It's Never Too Late. And don't forget, it is never too late to date, even after 60 and even after 70. So if you know of anybody who would be interested in this information that we talk about here, please share my videos as well as like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the topics that we talk about here. And we will see you on the next video.